ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थे सुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्म हृदय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमये यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहैतुकी। Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 16, verse number 31. So we are reading Krishna's subduing the Kaliya snake, and we read how he was caught, then he came out of the clutches of the snake, Kaliya, and then he played with him, moved around. Then when the snake was tired, he jumped on his head and he started dancing. And then the Devas, Apsaras, Gandharvas, they came and played music to accompany his dance. So that's what we read. And then the snake was finally exhausted, tired, lost all his energy, and he remembered Narayana, took shelter of Narayana. So it was described there that why now he is taking shelter. It says because he was very proud and offensive. So now his offenses were rectified in punishment and came back to his proper thinking. So now it says Krishnasya garbha jagato tibharavasannam parshni prahara parirugna phanata patram drishtva hi madhyama pusheduramushya patnya arta slathadavasan bhushana keshabandha. So the snake, he was completely exhausted by the weight of Krishna on him, who carries the whole universe or universes inside him. So it's quite heavy weight. So garbhaj gato ati bharavasanna. And on top of that, he got kicks from the feet of the snake. Parshni prahara vasanna prahara parirugna phanata patram. So all these hoods, they were broken with the kicks. So this fana is compared like an umbrella. So like if you are going in the rain and you have an umbrella and there is a heavy hailstorm, the umbrella will break. So like that he got the kicks. So drishtva hi madhyam upasedur amushya patne. So then seeing the snake in this condition, the wives of Kaliya, they came there and they approached Krishna. And arta slathada vasana bhushana keshabandha. So they were very much in distress seeing him in that situation. And their clothes, their ornaments and hair, they were all loosened because of distress. So this is not working.
We tried everything. We tried the switch, we changed the batteries, and it's not responding. Yes, it's on. We tried everything. We spent 10 minutes trying to figure it out, change the batteries.
So garbhe jaganti yasya tasya ateva atibharena adyam. Take this stool. Take this.
It's not a button. It's not a button.
नहीं?
No button.
So there are universes in his womb. Garbhe jaganti yasya tasya ateva atibharena. Therefore he is quite heavy. So Krishna is heavy because he carries a lot of weight in him. So Adyam Sri Krishnam Artha. So they came to Krishna. Adyam here means the original person, Sri Krishna. Artha ite etavat kal paryantam yapatya udasina evasan. So now they felt distressed. So till now they were indifferent to Kaliya all this time. So they were probably also thinking, let him get the kicks. Because they also must be unhappy with him. He was not listening to them. So bahirmukhoyam bhagavata krita dandena mriyate cha iti mriyatam. Why were they indifferent? Because they thought that this fellow is Bhagavat bahirmukha. He is not favorable to Krishna, he is against Krishna. So if he is going to die by the punishment of Krishna, let him die. Because somebody who is your relative but is not devoted to Krishna, then what is the point in having that relation? So it's only trouble. So therefore they say if he is going to die, then let him die. So vayam vidva eva bhutva bhagvantam bhajama. So generally no wife, chaste wife wants the husband to die. But they said this, that we rather become widow and then we will happily worship Krishna instead of being with this non-devotee. So yada tu mansa sharanam gatasya tasya patyurdanya nirveda vishada vitarkam ityadi sanchari lakshanam mukhadi angeshu dadrishu tadeva aho asmad bhagyavashadayam vaishnava abhut tadasya rakshana yatamaheti. But now when in his mind Kaliya took shelter of Krishna, and at that time his facial expressions changed. If at all you can see any facial expression on the snake. So you see they can see. So before that Kaliya was looking very proud, haughty, and like who is Kosti Sadrisho Maya, who is there like me. But now they saw that the husband was expressing humility, dispassion, dejection, sadness, grief, and consideration about devotion. So all these are also sanchari bhavas. So when they saw this, then they became very happy. And they said, oh, by our good fortune, this fellow has become a Vaishnava. So asmad bhagyavashad, I am Vaishnava abhut. So now because he has become Vaishnava, now we should protect him. Before that they were just watching. They also enjoyed the dance of Krishna. Although the husband was getting the kicks. Says, okay, he deserves this. Let him get the kicks. But they also thought this guy is fortunate, he's getting kicks from Krishna. People like to have get kicks, right? They say like that, I got a big kick out of it. So he got many kicks, the best kicks, right? Those other types of kicks don't have much value. These are very valuable kicks. And he got many of them for some time. He also embraced Krishna 48 minutes. So therefore they said that now we should protect him. So sanghata tas tatra jata snehatvad arta Śrīmad Charana Sannidhim ajagna. So at that time they all got together and then they had affection for him. And then only they felt distress. Before that they were indifferent, he says, udasina eva asana. So our emotions are only for devotees and for Krishna. This is the meaning. Before also he was their husband, but they did not express their emotions. They remain indifferent. But now when he became devotee, so then their emotions became manifest. So this is what is described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and Priti Sandarbha also. That devotees' emotions, whether it is fear, anger, even laughing, all these secondary rasas, hasya rasa, bhayanak rasa, bibhatsa rasa, krodha. So they all manifest only in relationship with Krishna, not independently. So you can see this now here in the Nagpatnis, that before they were not manifesting their emotions because he was not a devotee. He was trying to bite Krishna and fight, showing his might, holding Krishna tight. But now Krishna jumped on him like a kite. So now he realized that it is better to be devotee. And then the Nagpatnis, they sneha, so jata sneha. Then only their affection came towards him. And because of the affection, they felt unhappy that he is suffering like this. So they thought, let's go and pray to Sri Krishna. So Srimad Charana Sannidhim Ajagmu. So they came and approached the feet of Sri Krishna. Tastam suvigna manusoth puraskritarbha kayam nidhaya bhuvi bhutapatim pranemu sadhavya kritanjali putasham lasya bhartu mokshechhava sharanadam sharanam prapannaha. So saranadam sharanam prapanna. So they took shelter of Krishna, who is the giver of shelter. They surrendered to him. How did they come to him? So ta tam suvigna manaso. So they were agitated in their mind, and they brought their babies and kept the babies in front. Because babies are more cutest, like little snakies, so that Krishna will become influenced by seeing these babies that look, these small kids, what will happen to them if I kill him? They will become without father, and these ladies will become widow. So they are playing on Krishna's soft heart. So Puraskrita Arbha. Arbha means babies. And Kayam Nidhaya Bhuvi, they came and they prostrated, falling on the ground, and Bhutapatim Pranema. So they gave their obeisances to Krishna, who is the master of the living beings. He says, you are the Bhutpati and we are the Bhutas. So Pati means protector, nourisher. So how can you kill him? So Sadhavya Kritanjali Puta Shamlasya Bharta. So they are Sadhavi, they were chaste wives, and they were the wives of this Kaliya, who is called here as Shamala, means he is a wicked fellow, sinful. Shamal means impurity. So Shamlasya Bhartur Mokshachava. And they wished to release him from this situation. So they had Kritanjali, they were joining their palms. So it looks like that they actually have like a human body, because they have hands. They are just snake, I don't know, maybe they had some snaky features, but more like human beings. Because they will also speak. They seem to be walking. So tastam prathamam pranemam. So first thing they do is they fell on the ground. Pranipatena. Right? Pariprasnena, sevya, like that. So first show their respect. Hridasya madhye kaschit dvipo buddhyate. So now how is it possible to bow down on the water?
Yes.
So he says that inside the lake there was a small island, and now the snake was there, not on the water. Krishna jumped inside the water, and then he jumped onto. That's where he was playing with him. So he says that Hridasya madhye kaschit dvipo buddhyate. It appears that in the center of this lake there was a land. So that's what there. Yatreva sthita Krishna Kaliya Vestito Gokula Janair Drishyate. Yeah. So it is on that piece of land that Kaliya was encircled, binding Krishna in his coil. And that's where the cowherd people saw him. Because if he was inside the water, how will they see him? And then he was going around. Otherwise you have to assume he was walking on water by some yogic power. So he was actually on the land. So then, Puraha Krishnasya agre krita arbha bala yabhista iti kripa janana artham. So they have kept their children in the front and then they approached Krishna. So why did they keep the children in front? He said just to incite mercy in Krishna's heart so that he becomes gracious on them.
How you would explain that in Bhagavatam there is no mention details like that there were like Iceland and lake and these things are not mentioned themselves in the
The
Bhagavatam.
lake is mentioned.
Oh.
Lake is not mentioned.
Oh, okay.
From the beginning we're talking about lake.
But only from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur commentaries we know details like that. So that like Iceland. So how you would explain?
How you
it?
have to understand that everything is not stated in the book. Some things you understand. Otherwise, how it will be possible? Because if they are bringing the children, they are bound down, then there must be land. So there is no need. This is not just to tell every detail. Otherwise, so many things have to be spoken. Where they came from, what they are doing. So it's like I said that they must have a human body. It is not said here that they have human body. So why I said it? They say that they join their palms, Kritanjali Putta. Now snakes don't have legs or hands. Right? So if it is written here Kritanjali Putta, then we have to assume that they have it. So from the description you have to understand many things.
Maharaj, so the acharyas, do they make a reasonable guess about these things, or do we like assume that they actually saw
it's
something
like
happening?
I'm saying Kritanjali Putta.
Yeah.
Okay. So now he is not saying that they are having human body, but what would you make out if you say that they join their palms? Kritanjali means that, right? So that means they have hands.
Well, is there a way to know? Because some people also have had direct experiences, right, in the past. Like, is there a way to know who had direct experience and what exactly is written from direct experience and what else is guessed? No?
But yeah, it's also true that these snakes or some type of snakes, they change forms also by human forms and all of that. They are not common snakes also. So the snake that bite Parikshit, for example, was disguised as a human form. So in that sense, it's easily to assume that what is happening there is also related to this type of species and not...
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that they are not just snakes, they have some kind of other living beings. And the description is in the beginning more like snakes because they have hoods and they have poison and all that. But then we also have this description. Takshaka also, he was walking, right? It's described in Mahabharata at least that he was going to bite Parikshit Maharaj, and the way he met one Brahmana, I think his name was Kashyap, who was a Vaidya. So he met him and he said, "Where are you going?" So he said, "I'm going to bite Parikshit Maharaj." He said, "Okay, go ahead. I'm also going there." So he says, "Why are you going?" He says, "I'm a Vaidya. I will revive him." So he says, "Really? You have that much?" Yeah, he said, "Yeah, I know." So he says, "Show me." He says, "Okay." So then Takshak, he bit the tree and the tree got burnt by his poison, and this Vaidya revived it, became green again. So Takshak thought, this will be a very big insult for me, that I go and bite him and then he will revive him, then what is my value? And Takshaka was very pissed off from the time of Arjuna. Yeah, he wanted to take revenge. That's why he came. He also came in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. He went to Karna. He says, "I will sit on your arrow and I will kill this Arjuna." Because when Arjuna burned the forest to appease Agnidev, then Takshaka's children were there, they got burnt. Takshaka had gone to Kurukshetra. This happened in Indraprastha. So since then he was against them. Takshaka in Sanskrit means a carpenter. So anyway, then Takshaka said, "Look, you take some money from me. You are going there because you will get some money from the king, right? I give you 10 times of that, go home." So he went, he got his fee, he went away. So he went and he bit and he killed him. So that's why Janmeja was so angry. He said, "This rascal Takshaka, I'll finish him off." Okay, so now there are prayers of Nagpatni, wives of Kaliya. So Nagpatniha Uchuhu. So the wives, they spoke as follows. Nyayo hi danda kritkil visayasmin tavavatara khala nigrahaya ripoh sutanam pitulya drishti dhatse damam phalam eva anusansan. So first of all, they did not blame him, that why are you doing like this? He is our husband. What did he do to you? Why are you trying to kill him? Nothing like that. He says, you have done the right thing. So nyayo hi danda, the punishment which you have given to him is very appropriate. Why? Because krita kil vishayasmin. Because this person is very criminal. He is very impious. He deserves to be chastised. So later on, of course, I don't know how they would have talked to him. He would have been upset with them. How dare you speak like this about me? Afterwards, when Krishna left, Kaliya would have got upset with them or not? The wives are saying, "You are Kilvisha." And it was proper that I got chastised. He says, "You are talking like this." So, nyayo hi danda krit kil vishayasmin. So, tava avtara khala nigrahaya. Says, your appearance here in this material world is to chastise the wicked people. So, paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskritam. So, this is a duskriti. He is an evil person. So, therefore, he got the punishment. And ripo sutanam api tulya drishti dhatse damam phalam eva anusansa. But your characteristic is that you are equal to enemy and also to your own children. It can mean ripoha and sutanamapi. Either it can mean to the enemies and your own sons, or it can mean to enemies and their sons, whichever way. Means you do not discriminate towards good and bad. Although you give punishment, like a judge pronounces punishment to the criminal, that does not mean that he hates them. And that's his job. He does that. Or Yamaraj is punishing, so he's not upset or anything. That's his job. So he says, Tulya Drishti, you have equal vision to them. Tulya Drishtim Dhatse Damam Phalam Eva Nusansan. So this says that you have given this chastisement thinking of the good outcome which will come from this. Means your chastisement is also beneficial. He will benefit from this also. What is the benefit? Because if you don't stop him, then he will continue to do more sins. And for his karma, he is going to get punishment. But now by chastising him, you have stopped him. So that is also one of the purpose why in the Shastra there are statements that kings should chastise the criminal people. So that is to curb their criminal activities further. Otherwise they will go on doing crime and suffer more and more. So that chastisement is also beneficial for them, although they may not appreciate it. But it's ultimately good for them. So that's why king is also like God, because he also does this as Krishna is doing. So commentary says, Prathamam stavantyah kopam upshamayetum dandam anumodayanti. So first of all, what they are doing is that they are appreciating the chastisement. They are approving the chastisement, the punishment which Krishna has given to the snake. Why are they doing it? So that Krishna's anger will cool down. Because he is in angry mood. If you go to some angry person and you ask for something, then he may become even more angry. So first you placate, pacify. And when the person is pacified, then you can ask something. So therefore, while reciting prayers, they are first appreciating or approving that what you have done is right. Nyaya iti. This verse beginning with Nyaya. Anena sadhu droha lakshnasya sakhalattvasya phalam avasyam praptam iti. He says this person, he is very against devotees, saintly people, gentle people, and that is his wickedness. So that wickedness must be given the result of his wicked behavior. So he has already got that from you. Shishta palana dushta nigraha krita stabtu kwapi vaishamyam naivastu. But when you are giving this result to him, in your behavior there is no biasness. Because you protect the saintly people, well-behaved people, and you chastise the ill-behaved people. But when you do that, there is no partisanism or biasness in your behavior. You are equal. So ripoho sutanam ripusutesu apikarat swasutesu cha tulya drishte. So in case for you, the enemies and your own children, or the children of enemies and your own children, you do not discriminate. So that's why they're putting the children in the front. That you have your children, you protect them. These are Kaliya's children, they also need to be protected. So riporapi putrasya shishtasya prahladasya palan darshanat. So Vishnu Chakravarti is giving an example. He said just like Hiranyakashipu was your enemy, but his son Prahlad was your devotee. So you did not think that this Prahlad is the son of my enemy, so I should also chastise him. No. So Datyanam Prahlado Asmi. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ananda Datya Jayam Prahlad. So therefore, because Prahlad was a devotee, Shishta, so you protected him. But your own son, Swasyapi Sutasya Narkasurasya Vaddarshanat. Narkasura was your son, born from Bhumi, Bhaumasura, Narkasura, and you killed him. So therefore you are not biased like that. You protect. Your thing is that Sishta Palana Dushta Nigraha. One who is well behaved, pious, religious, you protect, no matter whether that is enemy's son or someone else. And if somebody is ill behaved, then you chastise even if he is your own son. So that's your nature. And he gives these two examples. Nacha khal nigrahe api narghrinyam ityahu dhatseti. And when you chastise a wicked person, then also that does not mean that you hate him. No, that is also your blessing, your compassion. So, khalatva hetuka nana naraka dukkha upsama purvaka nitya sukhmaya moksha lakshanam phalam eva diyate maya iti anushansan kathyan neva damam dandam dhatse. So you think like this, that this person is very sinful, and if he continues to go on doing these sinful activities, then he has to suffer for many years in hell. Nana narak dukkha bhoga. So you stop that, and by chastising you give him eternal happiness in the form of moksha. And thinking like this, you punish. So your punishment is also a blessing. Your blessing is a blessing. Your punishment is also a blessing. So whatever God does, that is a blessing. Tatte anukampam susamikshvana. So seeing Krishna's anukampa, compassion in everything. Good is coming, that is also compassion. Bad is coming, that is also compassion. Because he can only give compassion. People think, why so much suffering is there, why God is not doing anything. So God is not giving suffering. Sanugrahoyam bhavata krito hino dando satam te khalu kalmasapaha. Yes.
Sorry for interrupting the respect. There was actually a question in the previous verse, the verse we just read. So here, the example of Narakasura is given, but before in the Vishnu Chakravarti himself explained that Krishna has no son, he has no mother, he has no father. Actually, because Yashoda has a power of a mother which is superior than Devaki, therefore Yashoda is actually his mother. So the mother relations are only because of the bhava. So Narakasura did not have any power of being a son of Krishna. So ultimately he has no relation to Krishna. So how can it be said that he is the son of Krishna. Other Krishna only has relations with his devotees and not with non-devotees.
No, because he was born, Narakasura, he was born from Bhudevi. So by birth his son. We are talking about another thing, but those who are born, they are also son, not.
Yes, but Krishna did not think of him as his son.
But they are saying, he did not think because, as you are saying, because he is a dushta. And he is a shishta, then his son, even if he is not born. But that's what he's saying, that generally speaking, people are attached to their children even if they are doing nonsense.
Okay.
But he's saying that you are not like that. Even if the son of enemy is there and he is a shishta, is well behaved, then you favor that than somebody who is so called your son but is not favorable to devotees. That's the point they are making.
Understand, yes.
Anugrahoyam bhavata krito hino dando satam te khalu kalmashapaha yadvandasu katvam amusya dehina krodhopite anugraha eva sammataha. So he says that certainly this is your grace on us. Anugrahoyam bhavata krito hino. So on us you have done this merciful act. Dando astam te khalu kalmasapa. So your punishment of asata, or those who are wicked people, that definitely purifies them, it removes them, their impurities. Kalmasha apaha. So yad dandva shukatvam amusya dehina. So this Kaliya, he must have done some sinful act to become snake, because snake is not something which is good birth. These are considered as niche only or papi only, or sinful births. So, but now you got angry at him, and because of your anger is also a grace. So he has become purified. That's why he started thinking of you, he took shelter of you, but otherwise he would not do that. So therefore he says that your chastisement has purified him. Unless one's heart get purified, one cannot surrender to God. So yavad malinam hridayam. Right? In Bhakti Sandarbha Jiva Goswami cites that as long as heart is impure, you cannot have sadbuddhi, sadguru and shatsastra. You cannot have faith in sadguru and shastra when heart is impure. So how is that he is taking shelter of you now? Because his kalmasha, his impurities have been dispelled by your chastisement. And therefore, your anger is also your blessing. Krodhopi te anugraha eva sammata. So, this is what we consider. This is our thinking. तस्माद् दुष्टेषु अपि तव वस्तुतः स्तु अनुग्रहे एव निग्रहाकार इत्याह. This is therefore your anugraha in the form of nigraha. So anugraha means actually acceptance. Nigraha means controlling, chastising. So he says your chastising, your nigraha is also anugraha. But your anugraha is in the form of nigraha. So therefore he says anugraha eva nigrahakara. So your compassion, your grace in the form of chastisement. So this is how you bless those who are dushta, those who are wicked, those who are roguish in mentality. Your blessing comes on them in the form of chastisement. So that's what they are saying in this sloka. No asmakam dandaha kalmasham prachina vividha papam apahanti. So your chastisement on to us, which means to our husband, it is purifying. The past sins of Kaliya have been purified. Yatah kalmashat amushya dehino jivasya dand sukatvam tasmat krodhapi. Why you are saying that he is sinful? He says because he has this birth of snake, danda suka. So that birth comes because of our past karma. So if somebody has snake birth, means before that must have done sinful act to become snake. But now you are showing your grace to him. Tapaha sutaptam ki manena purvam nirastamanena cha manadena dharmothva sarva jananukampya yato bhavanstusyati sarva jiva. But they are also wondering that he must have done some intense austerity in the past to get such a fortune, that he got chastised by you, he got the touch of your feet, touch of your body. This is not an ordinary, even the great sages do not get such mercy that they get to embrace Krishna 48 minutes, not even 48 seconds, and then John dancing on his hands. So he says, Kimanena, what kind of austerity he must have done. So, like they were also, Parikshit Maharaj was also saying that what austerity has Nanda Kim Karod Brahman. And Yashoda cha Mahabhaga Papo Yasastanam Hari. What kind of austerity has Nanda Maharaj done, and Yashoda has done that Krishna drank breast milk from her. So similarly they are saying. It says Nirastamanena cha manadena dharmothva sarva. So he must have done austerities in humility and by giving respect to others. Amanina manadena, in that mood. So nirastamanena means amanina, without any sense of desire to get respect from others and giving respect to others. Dharmo athva sarva jananukampya. Or he must have done some charitable activities, some dharmic activities by giving anukampa, grace to all living beings. Yato bhavans tushyati sarva jiva. And you are very much pleased by that. So if one gives nirbhayata, fearlessness to other living beings, then Krishna is pleased. Ashutushyati Keshava. So why? Because you are sarva jiva. You are like the source of all jivas or shelter of all the jivas, and those who give their compassion to the jivas, then you are very much pleased with that. So he must have done that to achieve something like this. So idanim tu nigrahakaropi naevayam anugraha kintu shishta janata kashta labhyamapi vastuayam anayase neva labte smayat tatra tu kim prachinam supunyam asti iti vitarkyanti aho tapayati. So he says, you have done this nigraha, this chastisement. So this is, of course, your compassion, as they said, but beyond that there seems to be something more than that. That's not only this is anugraha. It says Shishta Janata Kashta Labhyam api. It says something which is not easily attainable by great sages, by great devotees. That what he attained. That's what he has attained. So Vastu Ayam Anayasena eva labde. And he got it easily without much effort. So that is very amazing. Yat tatra tu kim prachinam supunyam asti. So is it that he has got some old good merit because of which he has got this situation? So they are conjecturing like that, and then they speak this tapay sutaptam kimanena purva. So nirastamanena garva sunyatvat. So nirastamanena means he must have done tapasya, austerities, without any sense of pride, because sometimes people do some austerity, they become proud of that. I do parikrama, Govardhan parikrama every day, right? Some people are like that, or I do this fasting or that fasting. So people also become proud of that. So he says, but he must be free from that. Garv sunyatvad, anyakrit sammanana abhilasha rahitena. And he has done it without expecting respect from others. Because also people do some austerity so that others will respect me. So then sometimes you see here Vrindavan Parikrama, some sadhu is standing on one leg. So he stands only on Ekadashi day when people are doing Parikrama and on the Parikrama marg. So why there? He can also go in his room and do it. Why he has to do on the Parikrama? So there must be intention that people respect, give some donation. So he says that is not your intention when you did that. So garv sunyatvat anyakrit sammana abhilasha rahitena, without desire for respect. Manadena anyebhyo manam dadata iti, and giving respect to others. Not only that you do not desire or desired any respect for yourself or desired any material benefit, but you gave respect to others. Tapso Vaishnaviyatvam Suchitam. So this means what he did is not just ordinary tapasya, but tapasya which is devotional. Because Krishna is not going to be achieved simply by some austerity. It has to be devotional, it has to be related with bhakti. So therefore it says Vaishnaviyatvam. Vaishnavitreshu tapasvisu avmanitvam manadatva darshanat. So those who are not Vaishnavas and they do austerity, then it is seen that they are not humble and they are not respectful to others. They are proud and they expect respect. So he saw in the case of Ambarish Maharaj and Durvasa. So Durvasa is a very austere person, but for a small thing he was so upset. He wanted respect. Why did you drink water without first feeding me? This means I am respectful person, you should respect me. That is the intention. So he got so angry because of that. So naham vedaina tapsa. So Krishna says, I am not achieved by Veda or tapasya or anything. Iti tvadukter anya tapsa stvat prasadakatva bhav bhavacha. So that tapasya, austerity which is not related to bhakti, that is not very satisfying to Krishna. It cannot be attained by that. Sarvajana anukampaya uplakshitoyo dharma sakrita. And you have done some dharma, some pious religious activity which involved giving grace to everyone else. So dharmasya api vaishnaviyatvam. Therefore this dharma also must be in the form of devotion. Karminam sarvabhut anukampaya anutpatte. So the materialistic people, they don't get inclined to be gracious to every living being. Yatah tapsam dharmadva heto tushyati. So therefore this kind of tapasya or dharma is not satisfactory to you. So if you have become pleased with him, he must have done some devotional tapasya or devotional dharma. Asya sirasu rangasthali kriteshu praharsa nityat acharanat. Because you made his hoods as the stage for your dance and you danced happily. Sarvajiva sammanana anukampadina sarvajiveshu santoshiteshu sarvajiv mandiro bhavanapi santushyati. So here sarvajiva means that if you give respect to all living beings, then you who are the shelter of all the jivas, you become satisfied. When all the jivas sarvajiveshu santoshiteshu sarvajiv mandiro bhavanapi santushyati. When living beings are satisfied, you feel satisfied. Sleshena sarvastvam jivayasi tat santoshkam imameva kim prashni praharai hansi iti dyotitam. Or as a pun, the meaning is that you are sarvajiva. Sarvajiva means that you are the life of all living beings. So why are you intent on killing him by your kicks? If you are sarvajiva, then you should also protect him. So that is their prayer. They will continue. Any more question on this? Otherwise we stop.
Babaji, how did the Nagapatis know that Krishna is Swam Bhagavan? Did they have a guru even in the last life? Or?
Did they say that he is Swam Bhagavan?
Well, if they say that you are, if they know who he was or his other incarnations,
Yeah, but
then they understand.
all the incarnations are Vishnu, so what is the difficulty in that?
Or at least, I mean, even only Vishnu, I mean, that's also good enough. How do they know that? I mean, he's a small boy.
That they knew somehow. Otherwise, how will they even come? I mean, how is that Kaliya remembered Narayana? So they said that they are.
Yeah, so that's why I was wondering.
So that's
They
why.
must have had some guru.
So that's why he was saying that these are devotees, his wives. So they must have been devotees. They maybe also did something to become Kaliya's wives. Also must have done some offense. Yeah, to be Kaliya's wife. Kaliya must have been also devotee. Otherwise, how he is remembering Narayana now, like Gajendra remembered. So must be.
Babaji?
Yes.
So maybe I'm slightly jumping, but perhaps this is relevant also. There is this also story later in Mathura where there is a washerman. Krishna actually goes and asks clothes from him, and unfortunately he denies that, and Krishna immediately kills him. So the question is, how can this be understood? At one hand, he has the good fortune of Krishna coming and asking him for seva, and the other hand is like the misfortune is that he just says no.
So what is your question?
So this is the question that he doesn't have clearly any bhakti, so he must have performed some austerity, some dharma, which has given him darshan of Krishna. But then we also know that austerity and dharma cannot give darshan of Krishna's.
Yeah, so he must have done something.
So it must be possible to do something to just get a darshan of Krishna, I guess.
No, he must have done
That is not
something.
involved bhakti.
When Krishna comes, then everybody gets darshan at avatar time.
Okay.
Whoever is present then.
Okay.
Okay.